This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV.
Welcome to What the Fork Wednesday, the stories that make you stop, blink twice, and ask yourself how this is real life. Logic has left the building. Let's begin.
Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling when she hits go live, everybody feels it.
And I am on mute. How is that for a start? I'm so glad nobody's in here. How about I start that again? Oh, y'all, this is What the Fork Wednesday. Let me tell you. Welcome back, y'all. This is AskABee, this place where real stories meet real opinions, and sometimes the internet brings us situations that makes you stop and say, what in the world is going on here? Look, y'all, life has done that to me today. Let me just put it out there. I got some things situated. I got some other things I got to work on. Ultimately, I have a headache. Look, if you're new here to the Hive, here's how this works. I bring you stories from around the internet where people are asking the big question, am I the asshole? We break it down. We look at the facts. We check the comments. And then when we figure out what really went wrong, sometimes the answer is obvious, and sometimes, it's messy. I love the messy. Your girl loves messy, okay? And sometimes, the story takes turns nobody saw coming. Today's story is one of those. Actually, I have three, but the last story I'm saving best for last. That's what I do here. It's the best one. It truly is. And it's one of those that starts with the family argument and it slowly turns into something much bigger. It involves twins, favoritism, family pressure, and a situation that escalates in ways that honestly feel unbelievable. But as always, we're going to walk through it piece by piece. If my dogs allow me, get up here and stop, please. Come on, Otto, please. Thank you. Now go lay down. Thank you. Drive through. All right. Man, all kinds of complications. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? And he is just all on top of me now. Patty, where are you? You can have this one. Misanthrope is not racism or misogyny. So I dare you to have a child in November. I can't have any children anymore. So thanks anyway, but very good to see you, Odin. It's been a while, man. Not kidding. What are you not kidding about? I don't understand. Okay, so stop, dog. Oh, you mean the dog? No, he's not kidding. He's really not kidding. He is my baby, and I am his emotional support adult human. Shh. And there's the other one you can hear in the whining back there. Stop. I'm trying to do a show, dude. We all knew that. Pay attention. Okay, how about you try to pay attention with these two dogs all over you? All right. Don't be rude. Anyway, look. Settle in. Grab something to drink, and let's get into today's story without commentary. All right, or dogs. Now, let me bring up these panels, get started on our first story. Okie dokie. Am I the asshole for saying what the fork to my boyfriend after he paid for our groceries? Okay. Don't Don't be rude. I'm not being rude, sweetie. I'm not being rude. Anyway, my boyfriend, 27, and I, 26 female, did our nightly rounds at our local grocery store. Due to my crazy luck, I found a merchandise cart outside before we went in, and because we have been super tight on money, we decided to use it to see if it had anything on it. After walking and carefully picking out our items, we waited in line for 45 minutes. Once we were almost at the front of the line, my boyfriend asked me to go around to the next aisle and grab him an energy drink. I handed him the card to try out and happily scurried to the next aisle and back. By the time I got back, my boyfriend has handed the cashier the card as she scanned the last of our items. I then asked him if she scanned the card, to which he paused for a while and then said, yeah. Due to his long pause and unsureness, I asked the cashier if she scanned the card, to which she said, no. Bye. Sorry, I'm taking care of a small problem, a very small problem. After she said no, or after she said no, then he then paid for the groceries. He used a credit card, so the purchase went through right away before the cashier could cancel it. I then turned to him and said, "What the fork?" with his name. I took the card for the lady, to which he then said I was being a hostile asshole. I brushed it off and we walked to my car. On our drive home, he was completely silent, ignoring me. I decided that it was whatever and just let it rock. We got home and he gets out of my car and goes to our apartment, leaving me downstairs by myself at night. And he took my phone with him. To be fair, I don't think he took my phone on purpose. He just grabbed it for me before we left to the store. I spent 20 minutes looking for parking. In that time, he didn't call me to see if I was all right or where I was. Well, of course he didn't. He has your car, right? Oh, Lord. This sounds like more trash needs to be taken out. Okay, I finally went upstairs where I meal prepped 12 meals for him, 6 lunches and 6 dinners, while he avoided speaking to me and didn't acknowledge my presence. Finally, at 11:30 p.m. at night, after cooking for 2.5 hours, I went to our bedroom and asked him what was wrong. He then told me that I was I don't say that word. Sorry, it's a C word. And he said that he didn't want to speak to me. I am anxious. I'm an anxious person. So I asked him for reassurance that he wasn't trying to break up with me. He then said he doesn't know and can't answer that right now. He gave me the silent treatment while I cried in bed, and eventually he said that he didn't like that I treated him like a child in public. I asked him what he meant by that, and he said that since I had said what the fork to him in public, I was treating him like a child who didn't listen. He then said that I basically called him a liar because after asking him if the cashier scanned the card, he said yes, and I follow up with the cashier. He said I chose to believe a cashier that is lying over him and therefore calling him a liar. At this point, I asked him if I should go to my mom's, to which he said, no, I can stay. I cried a bunch, and eventually he came over and rubbed my back and told me to cry in his arms. We argued until 3 a.m., and eventually I apologized for saying what the fork to him, but I told him that he needs to apologize for calling me that C word, giving me the silent treatment, and acting like he was going to break up with me. He has been trying to get me to wear my promise ring, and I have been refusing because I just feel disgusting when I look at him. I think I might have been the asshole when I asked him what the fork, but I think that the crime doesn't really fit the punishment. I think I am just at a loss right now for what to do. I feel gaslit, and I don't know if I am really the asshole. Hold up. Because this one right here, this is not about groceries. This is about respect. Sound like neither of you have very many. You said, what the fork after he lied about the card being scanned. That's it. That's the crime we're supposedly talking about right now. Look, let me tell you something. That is a very normal reaction when somebody pauses, looks guilty, and then the cashier confirms they didn't do what they said they did. You didn't scream, you didn't cause a scene, you asked a question, and yes, it had a little spice on it. But that does not justify what happened next. What concerns me is everything after the store. He goes silent. He walks off. He leaves you downstairs alone at night with no phone. He doesn't check on you. Then you spend 2.5 hours meal prepping 12 meals for this man while he ignores you. And when you finally ask what's wrong, his response is calling you a C word. Let me be very clear about something. That is not a disagreement. That is disrespect on both behalves, if you ask me. Because, first off, my biggest problem here, you find something and you just decide, oh, well, maybe I should just use it. Instead of taking it to a counter and saying, hey, here's this. Here's my information. Somebody's dropped this. If they don't come back for it, would you call me? Okay? Why are you using somebody else's money anyway? I don't care if it's a gift card or not. I guarantee you somebody lost that. They went to the desk and said, hey, I lost this. Did anybody turn it in? No, 9 times out of 10, most people don't turn a gift card in. But you know what? That makes them not the better person, doesn't it? Sorry, I got a little fire behind me because of the jerk that was in my chat just a little bit ago. I really need a bee, but apparently I don't have one of those because there ain't nobody in my chat to do that. So this whole thing's just pissing me off. Look, he flips the story and says you treated him like a child in public. Okay. Yes, you did, but no, you didn't. You treated him like someone who said something that didn't match reality. You questioned it, okay? I mean, if he was going to lie in the first freaking place, right? And instead of owning the mistake, he turned it into a character attack on you. Then comes the silent treatment, the emotional distance, the I don't know if we're breaking up. Okay, honey, first off, you need tougher skin. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. You need to suck it up, Buttercup, because you know what? Anxiety is ruling way too much of this world. And a doctor will tell you that if you are on anxiety medicine, that it's only half the battle. You need to get your shit straight in your head, is what you need to do. Now, listen, I don't know if we're breaking up. That is such a childish kind of thing to say. If anybody says we're breaking up, that's when you worry. For real. Get over it. It's just a psychological power play, if you ask me, whether he realizes it or not, or you, for that matter. The emotional punishment is what it is. So, are you the asshole for saying what the fork? Yes and no. I mean, if you're going to go off on somebody, don't do it in public, right? That's my problem here. You both did this crap in public. Why? But what you are too is someone who reacted to a confusing situation. So I'll give you that much. And then you spent the rest of the night being made responsible for all of his feelings. And yours didn't really matter. Okay? You both are a hot mess. And you need to get your shit straight, both of you. If anything, the punishment absolutely did not fit the crime either way. But the bigger question here isn't about the grocery card, really, is it? It's why you're the one apologizing while he's the one who's escalated this situation all the way to insults and emotional shutdown. People, come on. Smile. Your face is beautiful when you do that. And forget about the stab trying to get your dander up. Skull Baby is here. Skull Baby. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. That's too funny. Y'all, for anybody else that may be in here, you may or may not know me. I am on Facebook, I am on Twitch, I am on YouTube, and right now I have family here from Facebook. All right, I better finish up with this because thank you. I needed to get unheated. All right, don't make me blush on camera. All right, so okay, I'm gonna get back into this and try not to be as heated. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. I needed that. All right, so oh my gosh. You're a butthead. You know that. You're crazy. Look, it's working. Okay, you see red. I got some red going on here. You're a punk. I love you and you know it. All right, so the one who escalated the situation all the way to insults and emotional shutdown. There's no one here as far as I'm concerned. You both did that crap. Get over it. Suck it up, Buttercup. Y'all need to start talking. Always. You know it. You know it. All right, that's the part you need to think about moving forward. Okay? Stop being childish. Grow up. Okay, I got a couple of comments on this one. And oh, look, there's my opinion. Y'all are a hot mess. This whole post was so cringy. You yelled at your boyfriend like that in the store. Not cool. Why did he lie about using the card? Weird. He called you the C word. Y'all know what that is. I call it a Hillary, but then I'll get in trouble for politics, won't I? Anyway, oh, I need to fix that too, don't I? Thank you. So he called you that. That's even more not cool. Why did you put so much emphasis on the fact that you cooked a meal and prepped? It sounds like you do a lot for him and you're starting to hate it. Yeah. A promise ring. And you're how old? Sorry, I felt the same way. I didn't say nothing. I think you just sound super immature and your boyfriend is even more immature. Amen. Y'all have to evaluate your whole relationship after this question. I want to say everyone's the asshole here. That's what that means. Everyone sucks here. You are both assholes that need to start acting their age. I'd break up with him and send him back to his mom until he can start acting like an adult. Yes. This post just gave me a headache. Honey, me too. Me too. But I mean, when I picked it, I had a headache starting in, so that's how it helped. All right, second comment. What in the cinnamon toast fork did I just read? Y'all are way too old to be acting like this. You both need therapy badly. Agreed. Third comment. One time, okay. Sorry, I have to try and be straight faced when I do this one because it's funny as shit. One time, my husband pissed me off. So, being petty, I made us breakfast. I made eggs, bacon, beans, and I think hash browns. Beans? I made so much noise in the kitchen that you knew it was going down. I sat down next to him with my plate and started eating while he watched TV. After 2 bites, I turned to him and asked if he was hungry. He said yes, so I told him that his breakfast was in the kitchen. His eyes lit up. Then he walked to the kitchen where he found a box of cereal. Sucker. That's my kind of people. Don't disrespect the cook. You got that right, baby. You got that right. That is so awesome. I love this person. Look, let's talk about these comments because honestly, they're not entirely wrong, right? Correct? I hate when I do that. Wrong, right? But they're also missing the bigger picture here. The first commenter is basically saying everybody in this situation needs to grow up. And yeah, there's some facts there, okay? A public what the fork moment isn't great, and his reaction afterwards definitely wasn't great either. But the real issue, it isn't really the maturity levels, it's how the conflict was handled. You had a small disagreement and it turned into insults, silent treatment, and emotional punishment. That's not healthy communication. The second commenter saying, "What in the cinnamon toast fork did I just read?" That just, I mean, that's my new best friend right there, okay? Cinnamon toast fork. Yeah, I'm using the fork word. Get over it. But that's basically the internet's way of saying this relationship has way too much chaos for something that started over a grocery cart. And the third comment, now that one is just petty comedy gold. That's the kind of harmless revenge people laugh about later. People like me. Not the kind that leaves something crying or someone crying until 3 in the morning. Which, I'm sorry, I'm way past that. I ain't gonna cry about jack poop no more. So overall, the crowd's message is pretty clear. I think both of you need to step back, figure out how to communicate like adults, and maybe decide if this relationship is actually making either of you happy or smarter. She should have made him wish beans and wonder bread. Wish for the beans and wonder where the hell the bread was. Yes. See, that is perfect right there. And I am so happy you said that. I think I probably heard you say that before too. Y'all, this one's known me for almost my entire life, so I know he understands what I'm saying here. All right, so here we go. I do have a second story here before we take our little break. I think I do. Yeah, I do. Sorry, gotta load it up. Could you please stop shaking me all over the place, dog? You driving me. I mean, with 4-wheel drive and everything. Damn doggy crazy train over here. All right, here we go. This one's kind of short. I'm going to take my break. Y'all can listen to my really kick-ass song that I made myself, and I'll be back. But we're going to do this one first. Or a jam sandwich, 3 pieces of bread jammed together. Yep, I think I've had a few of those. May have even had them with you. All right. Here we go. Let me get back over here. Panel 4. Thank you for coming up like I needed you to. Am I the asshole? I don't understand what I did. Help. I need some unbiased opinions. There's this guy at work who works in our pre-press department doing some kind of file stuff on the computer. Most days there are 2 people in the department. He was by himself and he tends to be a little grouchy. Yesterday it was at a level 11. Okay. I had to ask him a question about a minor mistake that I made and how I was going to fix it. He got really upset with me and started complaining strongly at me about it. It made me feel really bad about something I already felt bad about. It is important to know that he is handicapped. I don't really know what is wrong with him, but he uses a walker and there's something wrong with his hands too. As I'm walking out of his office, he shook his head and whispered, "Idiot," under his breath. I got pretty upset and said, I'm not the one who made you handicapped. And I walked away. You said, "What the fork?" What? You really? What? Hi there. How are you? Good to see you. Hunter? I think that's the name. Scary. These folks are wondering how well we know each other. I said family. That's good enough. All right. So I was telling my friend about it later, and he said I was being ableist. Am I the a-hole? Oh, okay, good. I'm glad I got it right. I hate it when I mess up people's names. It's just not nice. Happy to have you. Thank you for being here. All right, let's slow this one down just a bit, shall we? Because here there are two things happening here, I think. First, that guy absolutely crossed the line when he called you an idiot under his breath. Okay? We won't we're going to call it what it is. All right? Being frustrated at work, it look, it doesn't give someone a free pass to insult people, especially when you are already trying to fix a mistake and ask a simple question. That part is on him. But the moment things went sideways was when you brought his disability into the argument. Oh, when you said I'm not the one who made you handicapped, you turned a work disagreement into a comment about something he has no control over. That's why your friend called it ableist. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person, okay? It means that in that heated moment, you grabbed the lowest hanging insult you could find. What do I say, people? The boobling key? What is that? About the boobling key? What is that? Okay. Uh yeah, why did you do that? Okay. Honestly, that happens when people feel embarrassed or attacked. I get that part. So are you the asshole for being upset that he called you an idiot? No. No. That reaction is understandable. But bringing his disability into it was the wrong move, okay? And probably escalated the situation more than it needed to be. I made your day. Oh, I'm so glad. How did I do that? Did I say it right? Is that what it was? Okay. So, the better response would have been calling out the insult itself, not the condition, correct? So, this one is kind of a mixed bag. Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, I'm happy to make your day. That's great. If I can do that for anybody, I'm a happy camper. So, that made my day in return. Thank you. Put it in a translator. Okay, I'll do that after the show or during my break. That's what I'll do. Okay, I'll figure it out. I promise. All right, so he shouldn't be insulting coworkers, but yeah, you probably owe an apology for the comment you made on the way out. I mean, come on, why would you talk about the man's disability? You know? All right, few comments, and then I'm gonna go take my break and check that out. So, first comment, considering you appear to have registered the username Working Legs AITA to post this, I'm going to say you're the asshole. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, you're right there. You sure are. You sure are. Listen, second comment, how do you not understand that bringing up his handicap is a derogatory way or during an unrelated incident is not okay? You're the asshole. Agreed. Third comment, you're the asshole. You decided to bring up someone's disability as an attack when they were helping you fix a mistake you made. Your friend is right. You were ableist. Okay. If you wanted to stand up for yourself, you didn't need to bring his disability into it. You know, I have to agree there. Come on. Why do you have to bring up somebody's disability? That's not cool. What's the point? You're only hurting yourself. You're making yourself, it means bubbles in your language, but saying bublinki has the same exact pronunciation. Oh, well, thank you. I learned a new word today then. I'm glad I said it the right way, too. That's wonderful. What is your language, if you don't mind my asking? So, yeah, you know, that just kind of, why would you do that? What is the point? Sure, you felt attacked. Sure, you felt upset. But hurting somebody is not, oh, check. Oh, I love it. That is very cool. Thank you so much for teaching me that new word. Booblinky. That's cool. I have a new word, you guys. And I may just have to start using it. So, I'm going to go ahead and take my break, but I just want to say this. It does not matter what kind of name that this person called you. You do not ever attack their disabilities. You don't react and you don't attack, okay? Why? Why would you attack somebody like that, knowing full well that that's going to hurt a heck of a lot deeper than them calling you an idiot, right? Hey, thank you. I am going to have a great day, and I'm just going to go share my word with my granddaughter in a little bit because it's fun. And love you too. Thank you. I hope that you come back again. Teach me another new word. All right, I'm going to take my break real quick. You guys enjoyed this song? I will be back shortly.
She came from the quiet storms, built a fire from the ground, turned a whisper to a warning. Now her voice shakes the town. Every setback was a lesson, every doubt became a key, unlocking something bigger. That's the rise of Boss Bee. When the lights go low, her vision hits high. She built a whole damn network off a promise and a try. Every sunrise, every moment, she's stacking legacy. This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV. Boss Bee rising. BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up. Yeah, the whole world's invited, from the gravel roads to the neon dreams. She built an empire out of broken wings. Boss Bee rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's the queen of the comeback, the storm in the stream, crafting stories out of heartbeats, making visions out of dreams. Got thunder in the hustle, got a voice that cuts clean. Every mic she touches turns to power unseen. So let birds spin the numbers, let the views rise slow or fast. Boss Bee doesn't measure wins by echoes of the past. This moment is a pivot, this season's history. Bow down to the founder of the BBTV dynasty. Boss Bee rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up. Yeah, the whole world's invited, from the gravel roads to the neon dreams. She built an empire out of broken wings. Boss Bee rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's got fire in the head, it's got truth in the frame, got a heart that won't retire and a gift you can't name. Every loop, every letter, every dream she sets free, it's a love note to the world sign. Boss Bee. And the world keeps watching as the numbers climb, but she's counting all the moments, not the dollar signs. From the late night grind to the daylight scene, she's building something bigger than the algorithm's dream. Boss Bee rising, BBTV shining, her story's rewriting, a legacy in real time. Boss Bee rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up. Yeah, the whole world's invited, from the gravel roads to the neon dreams. She built an empire out of broken wings. Boss Bee rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. BBTV, where the stories breathe. BBTV, where the dreamers believe. Boss Bee rising, watch her take her place. This is BBTV, this is her grace.
All right, we're back. Dogs are taken care of and everything. Y'all don't forget, like and subscribe for me, please. Hit that like button. You know it helps out. Definitely subscribe. And hey, consider becoming a member. All right, we're going to do a little bit different for the second half. I have a story, just one. This is the one I was speaking of in the intro. So we're going to get into that. And I want you to know I did have a question that I forgot to answer at the beginning when I wanted to, but I got a question in the email. It's been a couple of days now. Pardon me. Let me tell you something. I do all my own videos. Okay. There are a few that Big Jack, my big brother over here, does on his that we incorporate together. There are two channels here that are working off of the same vibe. Okay. The Iron Sharpening Iron universe, that is Big Jack's. And well, honestly, we have a great team that works the whole platform. Okay. And then there is BBTV that produces the Iron Sharpening Iron universe. And that, my friends, is me. Now, if you want to support both channels, that's wonderful. You can go over there and sub them, and then you can back over here on YouTube and sub me. I don't know exactly how that works on Twitch. I don't know exactly how that works on Facebook. My Facebook, I'm not getting paid for this. I do this for my family because I need them to see that I'm okay. All right. So let's get into this story. It's a long story, and there's no comments because there's so many updates, but it's worth getting into. Okay, let's get this started here. Now, am I the asshole for refusing to give my baby to my twin sister who has always been the golden child? Yeah, you heard that right. I'm not reading it again. This is messy. Hey, Reddit, I'm in a really tough spot and could use some outside perspectives. I'm a 28-year-old single woman, currently 7 months pregnant and living on my own. My sister and I are twins, but she's the golden child in our family, always getting special treatment, praise, and the best of everything. Growing up, she was the perfect daughter in my parents' eyes, while I often felt like the overshadowed one. It was like our entire childhood revolved around her being showered with gifts and accolades, while my achievements were downplayed or ignored. Now, she's married, and I've heard her husband is great, but they've been struggling with infertility. The situation has now taken an insane turn. Recently, our parents approached me with a shocking proposal. Don't know if I want to get any further into this, but we're going to anyway, right? Because it's messy and we love messy here. They want me to give my baby to my sister and her husband once it's born because they believe she deserves it more. Are you forking kidding me right now? My heart sank when they expressed this. They argued that since she has a stable home and a family, she is better suited to raise a child than I am, given that I am a single mother. Tell your parents for me, bite me. This left me feeling heartbroken and furious. I get that they're excited about being grandparents, but I've worked hard to prepare for this baby, and I firmly believed that my child deserves to be raised by me. Sure, I might not be a picture perfect family in their eyes, but I have love to give, and I can provide for my child. I thought my refusal would put an end to their unreasonable expectations, but instead they escalated things. They staged a family meeting where they tried to pressure me further. Oh, see, I wouldn't even gone. You have a terrible family, honey, and let me tell you, you come on over here, I'll help you. Okay? I'll be mom, grandma. You can raise that child right here. Mom even went as far as to give me an ultimatum saying, if you don't do this for your sister, we will withdraw all support for you and we'll stop considering you part of this family. Oh my God. This completely blindsided me, and I was left feeling more isolated than ever. I've since expressed my clear stance. My child is not a pawn in this ridiculous game. I told my parents I'm not giving up my baby. And frankly, I was surprised that they would ever even ask. Honey, you need to divorce your parents. But I'm worried that my refusal might permanently fracture our already strained family ties. Why is that an issue? Why is that a problem? You need to cut ties, period, babe. Cut ties. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for saying no to my parents and refusing to give my baby to my sister? Oh, okay. For those of you that's too long to read, parents are pressuring me to give my baby to my twin sister because she's infertile and deserves it more. I refused, and they threatened to cut me out of the family. Am I the asshole for standing my ground? No, baby girl. No, baby girl, you are not. Let's be very clear right from the very start because this one is not complicated. Your body, your baby, it's not a family group project. Okay? It is definitely not a prize that gets handed to the sibling your parents like the most. And why did that even happen to your twins? How are you that different? The fact that your parents even suggested that you give your child away because your twin deserves it more is honestly shocking. And quite frankly, I'd love to just jump right through this screen right now, you know? Infertility is heartbreaking. I get it. And I have sympathy for anyone going through that. But someone else's struggle does not create a claim on your child. You are the mother. You are 7 months pregnant. You have prepared for this baby. You want this baby. And that should have been the end of the conversation the moment you said no. What makes this situation worse is the pressure and the manipulation that followed. A family meeting, ultimatums, threats to cut you off. Bite me. That's my answer. That's not support. That's emotional coercion. Okay. And the idea that a single mother automatically deserves her child less than a married couple is outdated nonsense. Get with it. No, you're not the asshole for standing your ground. You are protecting your child and your right to be their mother. If anything, the real issue is that your parents are treating a human life like a solution to your sister's infertility instead of respecting that this is your child, your decision, and your future. And then they just want to take stuff from you, right? Instead of being a grandparent to this child, is basically what they're saying. We're not going to be grandparents unless it's given to the other child, the one we like. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so there's an update. Thanks for the comments. Actually, there's a lot of updates. This is the first one, or first four. Thanks for the comments. I didn't expect this to blow up so much. A common theme in the comments is people suggesting me to move or get cameras, which I currently can't do either. I can't get cameras because during the fight that caused me to move out of my parents' home, they broke my laptop and I can't afford a new one yet. Honey, email me, please. I'll give you a room. This is ridiculous. I'll take care. I don't have a job. I'm in a real bad spot, but I'll take care of you. I also can't move because I can't afford a new house. I'm still recovering from buying my current one because that was only 5 months ago. Thankfully, however, they don't know where I live. Well, that is good. I also forgot to include this, but my sister and her husband live with my parents. They do what? You got to be kidding me. I didn't read through all of this. I read through the first part and knew this was a good story. I didn't know this was going to get into this stuff. Update 2. People keep asking me why I need to be told if I am the jerk and if I need to cut them off. It's because part of me can't help but feel insanely guilty for cutting them off and denying my child, and an adult, an aunt. Okay, you didn't do that. They did that. You're not denying. They are. Okay, because they chose not to be your parent and that child's grandparents because you didn't give your child away. Update 3. I have read your comments and decided to cut contact with them. I blocked them all today and they have been posting about me nonstop on social media. They have most of my family on their side before they made up a story that I agreed to carry a baby for my sister and her husband. Oh, I think you need a lawyer here. My family, other than my parents and sister, live a few hours away, so they don't know about the favoritism. Of course, they don't. Update 4. I found cameras. I found some cheap ones to connect to my phone. And yes, I have talked to my OB and told them that under no circumstances should my parents, sister, or any other person be allowed in. Most of my family have me blocked, so I can't send proof. But also because I have no proof since my parents and sister never talked about this situation on apps or messages. One more thing I didn't include. My baby is a girl. Aw, just thought you guys might want to know. Absolutely. That's the best answer right there. Look, these updates tell something really important. First, she's not being dramatic. She's being cautious, right? The fact that she's thinking about cameras and security and worked it out, that shows how serious the situation feels to her, okay? To her alone. Second, the guilt that she's feeling is normal. Cutting off family, especially parents, is never easy, even when they've treated you so badly, right? But protecting your child and your peace has to come first. Okay? Third, the moment her parents started spreading a story that she agreed to carry the baby for her sister, that's a huge red flag for me. That's reputation damage and manipulation. I mean, slander. That we're talking about defamation here. And it explains why she felt she had to go no contact. And rightly so. Finally, though, talking to her doctor and setting a clear boundary at the hospital was absolutely the right move. I mean, if they're going to do that kind of crap, they may just try and take that baby. But, at the end of the day, this mom is doing what a parent is supposed to do, protecting her child before she's even born. Nothing wrong with that, if you ask me. All right, update number 5 just hit 8 months. Yay! Thanks to all of you for the suggestions. Most of you say to file a police report, but I can't. I would have, but I get it. They haven't actually done anything, so there isn't anything I can actually do. Okay, well, that's probably true. Update 6. A lot of you keep saying that I can file a police report for the computer being broken by them. Unfortunately, I cannot. I didn't own the computer. They bought it for my sister, but when she cracked the screen, she was given a new one, and they allowed me to use it for school work and other things. So when they broke it, it was their property. Honey, I've got a desktop if you want it. It's right over here in my office that you could be sleeping in. Get away from that mess. Update 7. It's been a few days. I have the happiest announcement of my life. I gave birth. I have 2 healthy twin girls. Oh my God. I know I've been referring to the babies as my daughter, singular, but her twin has been hiding during every ultrasound. Oh my God, that's got to chap their hides so bad. I love my girls more than anything in this world. Thank you to the people saying I can join their families. Yes. And for all of the support in general, my heart goes out to the supporters and I will continue posting. However, to all the people claiming it's fake, how would you feel if you put out the shittiest thing in your life and asked for opinions, but all you got was strangers not saying anything but fake? Food for thought. I will not be replying to most hate comments or comments like this anymore. You shouldn't have done it in the first place, honey. Back to the positives. Good deal. In future posted updates, I will be referring to my daughters as Maddie and Addie. I love it. Of course she had twins. Of course she did. So These updates are really bringing the story full circle. First, people telling her to file police reports, we're trying to help. But she's right. That legally, there is not much that they can do, right? Because there wasn't really a crime that actually happened. That doesn't mean that her concerns weren't valid. I mean, you can get, a restraining order on somebody without having proof of actual physical things, but they can't do anything about the restraining order until that person does something to you, regardless. It just means that she had to focus on protecting herself in other ways. The computer situation also makes sense once she explained it. If the laptop technically belonged to her parents, there's no case there either. Even if the situation still shows how messy that family dynamic was, but the big moment here is the final update. She gave birth to two healthy baby girls, and that's the part that matters the most. And I know, I mean, I know she's gone no contact, but the family's looking. They know what's going on. They know she got two babies now. And I can only imagine how happy these two little girls are going to be because you're going to do exactly the opposite of what your parents did for you. After all that pressure, the guilt, the family drama, she still stood her ground and protected her children. I'm so proud of this young lady. Honestly, that's the real takeaway here. When it comes to your kids, your job is to protect them, period. Even if that means walking away from people who are supposed to be family, right? I mean, right? Because think about that stuff, I just can't get over that. I can't. I'm having a real hard time with that. All right, a little bit more. Hello again. Good to see you. All right, so this is the last update, I believe. Let me see here. Back over there. Oh, no, maybe not. All right, update number 8. It's been a while. I've been focusing on my girls and work, so I had no time to post. Sorry. Don't worry about that. Two, two babies. We know you've been busy. I did set up the security cameras and they work great. Unfortunately, they found where I live. Oh, I was at work and my girls were at home with a babysitter. I saw on the cameras my sister's car pulling into my driveway. I immediately called the babysitter and told her to double check that all of the doors and windows were locked, which they were. Then I told her to lock herself in my room, which is the furthest from the door. On the cameras, I saw my brother-in-law walk over to the door, my sister-in-law behind him. They banged on the door to get in, but after around 30 minutes, when they saw my car, I left work early. They stopped banging and started watching for me, waiting for something. When I got to my door, they demanded that I open the door and let them meet their kids. What the fork? I told them no and to leave, which made them angry. They stormed off into their cars, and as they drove off, they were yelling about how you made a mistake and we will get our kids one way or another. Oh my goodness. I went back inside, paid the sitter extra for having to deal with that, and immediately ordered more cheap cameras for my phone. After that, I took care of the kids and then put them to bed, and then I went to bed. This was 2 weeks ago. What's my next move? Wow. Really? Get a lawyer and paternity test because they're not their kids, obviously. Look, this update changes everything because now the situation has crossed the line. Showing up at her house, pounding on the door, scaring those kids, I'm sure, and demanding to see the babies while saying, we will get our kids one way or another. That's not normal family drama anymore. That's intimidation. She absolutely did the right thing by locking the house down, calling the babysitter, refusing to open the door. At this point, the next move is documenting everything. saving the camera footage, make sure that stuff stays on a thumb drive, make two. And seriously, considering a police report or a restraining order is not a bad idea. When people start talking like they're entitled to your children, you don't take chances, right? Another update. Hey, it's been a while. Unfortunately, I have bad news. I was at work again. I saw a random car pull into my driveway that I didn't recognize on the camera. I thought it might have just been a person turning around, but the car didn't leave. It was just sitting there. I was concerned because, like last time, I had left my girls home with the babysitter. I decided to leave work and go home. When I got home, I looked through the car window and nobody was in the car. I was confused, but then I saw the babysitter's car was gone. I was very confused by this. I walked over to the door and it was unlocked. I opened it to see my mom, dad, sister, and my sister's husband in my living room playing with Maddie and Addie. I immediately screamed at them, but my sister just smirked at me. She said something along the lines of, "You wouldn't give me my kids, so we had to do this." I screamed at them to get away from my kids and get out, but they refused. Then my mom said something like, "I told you to give your sister her kids. Be glad that she's nice enough not to file a report for kidnapping." I just ran down my hall into my room and locked the door. I dialed 911. When my sister realized what I was doing, she ran down the hall and started banging on the door and screaming at me. After a little bit, police arrived. They made my family leave, but not before my family lied to them. Fortunately, I managed to prove that it was a lie. After some more screaming, they eventually left. I filed a police report, and that's where I am now. This was 2 days ago. Update. Hey, everyone. This is March 19th, 2025. Hey, everyone. It's been a while. I've been busy working and raising my kids. How's everyone been? We've been good. I do have stuff to update y'all on with my crazy family, but that will take a while to write. I just want to let y'all know we're still alive. LOL. Well, I'm glad to hear that part, honey. Look, these last two updates together really, I think they show where things stand right now. Update 9 proves the situation escalated way beyond family drama when they actually entered her home and tried to claim the babies as theirs. You can't do that crap. What are you thinking? So this is why calling the cops and filing a report was absolutely the right move. I don't know if I'd left my children in there with them. I would have stood at the front door so they couldn't go out. Maybe I could see everything that they were doing. But at that point, it becomes a safety issue, not just a disagreement. Then update 10 is basically her checking back in to let everyone know that she and the girls are still safe and moving forward with their lives. That's awesome. After everything that happened, that's the real win here. She protected her daughters and she made sure there's now a record of what her family tried to do, so they can't do it no more. Final update. In May. Hey guys, if you're still reading my updates, thank you for the support. I have a lot to update on, so I'll get started. In the beginning of March, my sister and brother-in-law went to my house while the babysitter, I swear she's a godsend for staying, was watching Maddie and Addie, and they caused a distraction outside. It was in a specific area where I didn't have any view of on my cameras, so I was unaware. But the babysitter, who I'll name Noelle since she's reoccurring, went out to check on it. She went to the side of the house where the noise came from, since the girls were taking a nap in the nursery. When she went out, sister and brother-in-law snuck in and just took them. They took my babies, but the psychos left through a place where I did have view. The motion sensor sent an alert to my phone, and since I was on lunch break, I checked it and immediately called Noelle. I told her to go call 911 and why. Then I called my boss and got off work early. I drove home, making the 30-minute drive in 15. I immediately told the cops, who were already there, what happened and the license plate on the car. They took it seriously and took statements from me and Noelle, plus the footage from the cameras. I decided easily I'd press charges once I could. I won't bore you with the details, partially since I don't remember it all from blocking it out, but they found my girls with my sister and her husband playing house. They were still asleep, but they were in a nursery setup in the new house my sister and brother in law had bought. They were taken into custody, and in late April, they were charged and sentenced to 12 years in prison on charges, yes, of aggravated kidnapping of two minors, breaking and entering, and a few other wonderful charges. Yes, baby. In March, I was going to write about the trial while I went through it, but I was wrapped up in everything. Now, me and the girls are doing fine with the restraining order for when they get out of prison. Thanks for still being interested in my post. I'll probably stop updating unless something major happens. I appreciate the support from everyone here. Thank you and bye. Okay, you know what? Wow, what the fork, right? Look, this final update is honestly the outcome everyone was hoping for, isn't it? What her sister and brother in law did was full blown kidnapping. There's no other way to frame it. Okay. And thankfully, the cameras, the babysitter, quick response police, made sure the babies were found safely. The fact that they were caught, charged, and sentenced to prison shows just how serious the situation really was, doesn't it? It's crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. So, I think the most important thing is that Maddie and Addie are safe. Their mom protected them, and now there's a restraining order in place so she can finally move forward and focus on raising her girls in peace. I would like to know a little bit more about the parents myself, but I'm willing to bet that they're probably keeping their distance at this point. I certainly would. That is ridiculous and stupid. Oh my God, so stupid. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's stories. Sometimes these posts start with a simple question about who was right or wrong. But by the time all the updates roll in, the situation becomes something much bigger than anyone expected in this case. We started as family pressure turned into a very real reminder that boundaries matter and protecting your children always comes first. My kids have always come first, regardless if they believe that they have. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that those babies are safe. And their mom stood their ground, her ground, even when the people who should have been there to support her the most tried to push her the other way. If you've got thoughts about this one, I'd love to hear them down in the comments. And if you enjoy stories like this, where we break down the internet's biggest AITA moments, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, which of course is going to be tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central, when we have Thankful Thursday. We're going to have AITA about gratitude. Listen, tonight we also have, it is Wednesday after all, our Grow and Glow Academy. Make sure you get there, okay? We're teaching people how to do YouTube, how to build your own, how to keep it, sustain it, and get it monetized. And we're doing this with our own little channel. We're using this to show you how we build it, how we move forward. And at the end of a year, if you've been there and watched all the episodes, and if you would please make a comment so that we know that you have. At the end of a year, regardless of the settings or however it is, this whole channel we are giving away for free. And I can guarantee you, because I've been there, monetized. It will be monetized. I bet you. Hey, look, I pride myself on getting that done. So make sure you get there tonight, 6 p.m. Central, please. Okay? Y'all, take care of each other. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Y'all make sure and go check out my Tuber chat, friends. Buzz you later.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface-level advice, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches, building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why.
If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description. If you're enjoying this show, subscribing is the easiest way to support what's being built here on BBTV. You'll see the join button right next to subscribe. No pressure, no expectations, just an option for people who want to support the channel in a real way. We're live every day at 3 p.m. Central now. And don't worry, we didn't change the heat, just the clock. And if you've got a story you want to share, send it in. Anonymous is always fine.
Boss be